And of course, I have to do the confirmation that I'm live first. And let's see. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a kind of a live stream off the cuff conversation this morning. And I just want to make sure that, everything's obviously working live. And okay, we are live. Good deal. So good morning, everyone. This is the last week of December before the most magical time of the year. That's Christmas. And as you can see, I got the Christmas lights represented. I'm representing this believe. Santa, believe. You got to believe. You got to have that Christmas spirit, everyone. I want to thank everyone for, again, tuning into this. And again, if you want to see some more industry content, you can go over to my YouTube channel, JP Warren, and subscribe there. We're also going live again this morning at 11 a.m. With Ken Lavin to discuss the Gumball 3000 and his dream, his vision, his passion, and why he believes the oil and gas industry needs to get involved on this global rally. But what else? Obviously, I hope everyone's having a great last quarter of their year and ready to get after next quarter. And what else? Please subscribe to Energy Crew Podcast. Check that out. That's hosted on the Digital Wildcatters platform. So check them out. Check that out. And subscribe to that and let us know what you think. And again, we are having coffee. Let's see if anyone's tuning in right now. Share where you're kind of tuning in from. I know this is kind of a last minute thing. I was out of town last week traveling. I hit up Oklahoma, Dallas, and Midland. And in 3 days, there was a lot of traveling. And Richard and I, we've been trying to get doing this for probably about a couple of weeks now. And I'm glad that we're able to do this Monday morning. We're about to have coffee with the Congressman, Richard Welch. I'm about to bring him in right now. And here we are. What are you thinking? Rich? You like it? You digging this or digging this? I like the close up.
Bring it close.
Personal and stuff. So what's your okay? Let's start this off. Let's start this off casually, okay? As we do in everything. It's Monday morning, the week before Christmas, right? We're having coffee with you. What is your coffee? What is your home coffee cup of choice?
I like Dark Magic from the Green Mountain. It's good, strong. I love it. Just a little bit of honey, and I'm good to go.
You put honey in your coffee?
Honey, yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right, I dig that. I'm a Houston blend from HEB. Let's say good morning to a couple of people. We got Craig Cato from The Office, and Katie from The Office. So, Craig, you want to fill us in on anything, or is that kind of off the? You want a sidebar on what office and Katie you're at? If it is an office, congratulations, buddy. I know you've been looking for your next opportunity, next role. So, man, I'm happy for you. Congrats. Where else is everyone tuning in from? We got Keith tuning in from Claiborne, Texas. Keith, I missed you last week, brother. Richard, you know Keith, right?
I sure do.
Yeah. So where'd you meet Keith at?
I've met him twice. I believe I met him at what was it? I think it's over there in Pasadena.
I don't know. The Fin for a Feather?
I think so.
Ooh, that's a great one. That's an up and humble. Yeah, the Fin for a Feather.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, humble. That's it.
That thing's a boondoggle.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think you also saw him at the Permian Basin Oil Show out in Midland.
I do believe so. Yes.
That's right. Okay.
I see a lot of these people multiple times, so it's hard to just try and pinpoint one little thing.
So that's what's funny. You kind of popped up on the radar recently. You started campaigning. I guess it's for, and obviously I don't know much about politics, which is why I think it's probably a great, or districts or anything like that, which is why I think it's probably a perfect opportunity to have this conversation with you. So let's, good morning. We got John tuning in. Good morning from San Antonio. Good morning, John. Thanks for tuning in, brother.
All right. San Antonio.
And this is great news. This is great news to bring up the year to a close. It's a core geological office. I did manage to get a job there. Congrats, Craig. That's got to be
congratulations.
Great. I love hearing that stuff. I know he's been searching and hitting the streets, shaking hands to try to find his next role. So congrats, Craig. Seriously, that's awesome, man. I'm proud of you. So Richard, let's get this kicked off. So you popped up recently, kind of on my radar, when I started kind of not just seeing your name on LinkedIn, but I also saw you a lot of oil and gas shows, and I'm wondering, okay. Or events, and just kind of interacting with kind of the same circles that a lot of that I have, and And so I was kind of curious to kind of learn more about you. I'm glad you kind of pinned us down to do this. So why don't you kind of give us a little background and kind of where you're from and all that stuff, and then we'll kind of get kicked off and kind of why you got into politics and kind of what your, I guess, change you're trying to do. And I want to hear about what the campaign's actually like. So why don't you give us a quick update on kind of your background, kind of where you started, where you're from, and where you're at now.
Well, I'm a native-born Texan. I was born in Liberty, Texas, and I've lived here in the Houston area pretty much all my life, except for the military time. I actually spent very little time in the States when I was in the military. I was in Korea for a year. I was in Europe for almost 3 years.
And you were in the Army, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I worked on tanks. Specifically, I worked on the weapon systems on Bradleys for the most part. So I spent a lot of time deployed. I mean, I love the States, but getting able to travel the world is, it's fantastic, and it's, it's all on the government's dime. So that was pretty nice.
Did you like did you like that? So what was it like being, I guess, a serviceman and I guess in a different, I guess in a foreign land, if you will, I guess, what was that like for you?
Big cultural differences, compared to here in the States. You really get to see, like socialism in action. Like all of Europe is socialist, and the way that they operate over there is pretty much completely different than here. The laws are different. Even getting a driver's license is way different over there in Europe than it is here. In Asia, is really different. Like Korea, they don't even have regular police officers. Their army is the police, and people think they have it bad here and go break the law over there and then not comply, and you find yourself in a world of trouble real quick.
Yep, different world.
Yes, sir. But ever since, when I got out of the military, I went straight into oil and gas. I've been working in these plants.
Hold on, let's peel this onion. Let's peel these layers.
Come on, peel it.
So you got out of the military, and so what brought you to the oil and gas industry, and which company did you start off with?
So I needed money. I was going to college at the time, and I needed something that could be flexible with my college schedule. So I met a gentleman, and he was a Boilermaker foreman doing shutdowns, turnarounds in these plants. And he helped me, get hired on. Of course, I had to test and everything and pass those. But the first time I got to work in the plants was Chevron Cedar Bayou, doing a turnaround out there, working nights. And we worked during Christmas Day, during Thanksgiving Day, and
there's no holidays, no oil field.
There is none. We worked every single night. And then I saw some guys while I was there, walking around, kind of telling people what to do. And these guys really knew their stuff. I was like, man, who are those guys? They're like, well, those are the operators, and they work for Chevron. And I was like, you know what? I want that job. And so I started off right there, taking other classes and taking tests, and trying to get in the plants as operations, working for the facility, and I was fortunate enough to be able to do that.
So you've been in the oil field for 18 years, you said?
Yes,
right?
Sir.
Has it been primarily in Texas, or have you had any international assignments or anything like that?
All in Texas.
Nice.
Right here. I'm a Texas guy.
So you're seeing this stuff. You've been in the oil field 18 years. You got experience. I've been in the oil field for 16, coming on 17 years. So started about the same time. So what, I guess, what kind of led you to kind of, not just, being an industry professional, but to take the plunge, if you will, to kind of pursue politics? And have you, let's get into your background on politics real quick. I guess, when did you start, having your interest or drive to kind of get in office and make changes?
Well, I mean, I don't have a background in politics, other than, millions of Americans that are, pissed off with what's happening right now. And what got me into it was this current administration, the Biden administration, just hammering on the oil and gas industry.
Right.
We were Cadillacing along. We were doing great under President Trump. We were fully energy independent. We didn't need to buy oil from anybody, and we were exporting for the first time in a long time. And, now all of a sudden, we're at about 50% in our reserves, and he's making contracts to buy, Russian crude oil, when I don't understand why we need to do that when we can drill it right here.
Right.
Yeah. Put some money in Americans' pockets and keep it all local and clean.
So you would have to say the catalyst for you to start kind of make it versus just kind of, sit around and bitch about it like, majority of people do, which I do. I'm guilty of that. You actually decided to do something, get involved.
Oh, absolutely.
And so tell me about, I guess, I'm not even sure what avenues to get involved in on local levels of politics also. So tell me about, I guess, this drive for you to and real quick, you want to explain to everyone kind of what district you're representing and all that stuff before we kind of go down this?
Sure. I'm running for Congress over here on the northwest side of Houston. It's Congressional District 38. It's a brand new congressional district. Thanks to the 2020 census, we picked up 2 brand new House seats.
Okay.
And I just happen to live in one of the new districts.
So you saw this new district, new House seat, whatever like that. And you're like, okay, well, this is kind of everything's in line. I'm sick of what's going on in Washington right now. I'm everything that's going on right now in the states and all stuff. So I'm going to do something about this, and this is a good opportunity right now to run.
Absolutely. Well, I started off trying to get my campaign going, and when I first thought about running for Congress, I was going to run in District 7 and try to.
Where's that at?
District 7 was the south half of 38 now.
Okay.
It went all the way from Jersey Village, the Energy Corridor, all the way down to Bel Air.
Okay.
And I was going to try and run in that district. It's the oil and gas capital of the world right there. And I really wanted to try and kick Lizzie Fletcher out.
Okay.
She made a lot of promises to the oil and gas community, and she kept none of them. And they've completely dropped her. But, it's really hard to unseat an incumbent. And then the redistricting came out, and I just happened to live in the new district. So I switched over to running 38.
So I guess tell me about, the thought process, for someone that doesn't have history in oil and gas, which history in politics, which I think honestly is kind of a breath of fresh air personally. I think once you become just like a professor at a university, once you become stuck and set in your ways, it's kind of you kind of become a career professor, career politician. So without having any, quote, experience in politics, what was kind of the conversations like, around the house, around your circles of support and all that stuff that kind of led you to kind of take this? I mean, have you always been, following politics or closely involved in that? And this was kind of the final straw, if you will, the catalyst?
Yeah, well, like everybody else, I do work. So, following politics is kind of hard when you're working in the oil field and you're working here 1 minute and the next minute you're in Midland, and, a couple of weeks later, you're out in Beaumont. And so, keeping track of it is a little difficult, but I do my best. It's my duty as a citizen to be informed about what's happening in the country, to the best of your ability. But I really started getting involved and paying a whole lot more attention, during COVID, when we all had a lot more free time, and seeing our constitutional rights, get pounded at every turn. First they were trying to tell us, you can't congregate to pray. Well, that's our First Amendment right, and it guarantees that liberty, and all of us conservatives getting censored on, media platforms, and even our own government, trying to bash us conservatives is private citizens at that. So
you're talking about the whole, Twitter censoring, the upcries on Twitter censoring conservative views, and you're also talking about LinkedIn taking down stuff that kind of goes against the agenda that they deem is factless or stuff like that, right?
Absolutely. LinkedIn has taken down one or two of my posts,
Really?
and it's just I'm just sharing conservative news articles, and LinkedIn yanked them down within 5 minutes, and I was pretty surprised. But even LinkedIn is getting to where I guess they don't want politics, especially conservative politics, on their platform. And I see it more and more every day. Friends are telling me, I can't believe, even LinkedIn yanked this down. And it's not even, name calling or sharing, derogatory things about other legislators, or
It's just a different point of view.
yeah, it's a lot of media platforms are moving this way, and is just, they should be ashamed.
So okay, so you're seeing all this, I guess, so change and all stuff. So coming into it, what again, going back to that, I guess, how long, I guess, did it take you from, I guess, having the thoughts and, I guess, the call to do something, or to try to do something? What was that process like, from, I guess, having conversations with your friends and family, to, I guess, actually getting up there, putting your name down, and, I guess, signing? I saw you sign the District 38th primary board, or whatever it's called. That's got to be a cool feeling for you. But I mean, what before that? What was those conversations like, and how did they go?
It took about a week, and I kind of mainly needed to, of course, prepare my family, and we had to talk about it with the wife, and what all it would entail, and do we really have the resources to do this? And my wife is, she's fully supportive. She's not really into politics all that much, so she's like, you have fun with that, let me know what you're doing.
Add a good level of balance, you know what I mean, to the home, I'd imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, talking with my family, of course, my mother, my uncle, the kids, and everybody else, and they were just, how bad do you want it? And I'm like, something needs to change, and I feel like I can bring that change, and try and get this country back on track. So I started doing some feeling out in the community, and it was really receptive. I didn't get met with much hostility at all.
What's been that, I guess, how long? Give me the timeline and the time frame on this, because as someone that's, I guess I'm kind of like your wife. I listen to it, but I try to drown it out. But what I guess was the timeline on, from when you decided to do this? I guess, is this the beginning of the campaign? Is this the middle? Is this the first quarter? Where are we at with the campaign process?
So we're about 60 days away from primary.
Okay.
So I first made the decision to jump in early September. I really started, late October, I started getting ready and feeling it out.
Right.
Early September, I really started pushing and hitting the streets and making a lot of events. And man, I've been all over the state.
So, dude, talk to me about that. This is kind of what I want to get into, because before we get in kind of some key topics you're focused on for District 38, tell me about the campaign process, because not obviously, but to me, in my mind, you see these movies, it's constant nonstop. It's this like house of cards political game, and using leverage and all this stuff, but it's also always being out, shaking hands, beating the streets, being involved, being at these events nonstop. I guess what first off, what's campaigning really like for you? And then I'm gonna have a couple other questions with that.
If you're snoozing, you're losing.
Okay.
And that's true. You have to be out there I am out there every day. I'm already dressed for success, and I'm fixing to start hitting the streets. I'm at events, as you can see, all the way, not just in my district, but all across the state, because I want to see other resources from the oil and gas community that, I can hit on, or get new ideas from, see things that people are researching on that can maybe be exploited in a bigger level to really help the oil and gas community function better.
Right.
And look better, and we can do better, you know. Uh, but yeah, it's very grueling. I'm tired. I got bags under my eyes. You know, I sleep, 6 hours a night if I'm lucky. Uh, a lot of times, I'm getting home at midnight, 11, 1 o'clock in the morning from, fundraisers or speaking at these events. And, my wife, she doesn't even wait up anymore. I come home and everybody's snoozing.
So it sounds to me like you just got a job in oil field sales. That's kind of exactly what it sounds like. Always out and about, in the street.
Business development, Yes,
Development,
that's it.
exactly. Business development.
Yes, sir.
So how is that at the house? I mean, it's obviously a grind, and it's obviously, I guess, we're 60 days out right now until, I guess, the primaries. You said, right?
That's right, March 1st.
Or 60 days out. So I guess the grind's only going to increase more and more and more. I mean, how's that on the home life balance?
Oh, it's fine. We do things together when we can. Half the time, I come home in between events and, we'll have dinner or, try to catch half a movie. And, we play board games and stuff here at the house. So, I definitely try to stay home and give, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a father. I have expectations at home too.
Right.
And that's a definite balance. I feel sorry for a lot of these congressmen up on the Hill, and they're home for a week, a month, maybe tops.
That's tough.
Yeah. So I'm really trying to balance this, and for my own soul, my own sanity as well.
Well, speaking of sanity, how are you managing? I guess because first off, it's such a new, I guess, step, playing area or avenue, whatever you want to call it, that you're in, right? To me, for some reason, I don't know if it's because just who I am or something like that, but like whenever there's any like critiques or anyone like, oh, I don't think I did a good job here, I don't think I spoke well here, and all that stuff. How do you manage, I guess, shutting out all that noise and I guess continue to move forward without, I guess, getting lost in distractions on everyone chiming in on what you should be doing, or if they disagree with you?
Well, certainly I get, people disagree with me, especially inside the 610 loop, it's not very conservative friendly, but I take a lot of criticism from people, and I reflect on that. And, there's certainly things that I do need to improve on, but I don't think my message is one of those. Maybe conveying my message in a better manner or a more effective communication style. We all need help in that department sometimes.
Yes. Amen.
A lot of people, that aren't running, certainly some of them try to tell you, you need to be doing this or you need to hit on that, and I'm like, this is my message, and these are the things that I'm running on.
So that's all that. I mean, to me, that'd be an extremely challenging part of, I guess, running for office. Because number one, you're running for your own personal reasons, right? Obviously you're trying to improve what's going on right now in government, the 38th district, et cetera, et cetera. So whenever you do, it's to me, I'd imagine it has to be challenging, staying true to kind of the original intent for why you're running, but also hearing all the, hey, you need to do this, all those suggestions that come around, right?
Right. Well,
So how do you balance that?
Well, excuse me. I'm me. I'm my own person, and I'm running my race on my beliefs and what I feel like is going to be our district and for the American people. I'm a constitutionalist, and I firmly believe that if it's not covered in the Constitution, Uncle Sam needs to get his hands out of our cookie jar, and it needs to be down back in the states where it belongs. There's certainly quite a few people who don't believe that way. I'm not one of them. I'm a staunch constitutionalist. I'm conservative all the way down to the bone, and I'm probably one of the most patriotic people you'll ever meet in your life. So, a lot of people, they critique and tell you what you should be doing. And I'm like, well, if you feel that strongly about it, go throw your hat in the ring,
Yeah.
and come in and try to change it your way. And I really wish that a lot more people would do that. We need 15 people running in every race every other year.
I completely agree. I completely agree with that. So I guess when it does come to people, I guess not being in line, I guess with I guess your thoughts and beliefs and all that stuff. Obviously, let's pretend that's half the district, right? Let's say you elect in this half the district. How do you work with, I guess, because I have beliefs and all that stuff. You have beliefs. Everyone's got beliefs. How do you work with, I guess, people that I guess don't kind of align or see your side of the message you're sending? How do you, I guess, kind of bridge that communication, I guess, gap, or bring them along to your side on kind of what you believe is the right way to move forward? Does that make sense?
Well, it does make sense, and it's all about the message. I've learned that a lot of people, let's say people that lean to the left, they're never going to see things your way.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to change their minds. They're never going to vote Republican or conservative.
Right.
They're just not going to do it. And so, certainly when I'm out talking to people, especially in public, let's say I'm at a public event, like I went to, to Boots for Troops.
There
And certainly, there's liberals there and just out having a good time, and we're stuffing boxes, and they're like, I totally don't agree with you, but I support the troops. And you just tell them what you're running on in the most passionate way possible, and they'll tell you, I appreciate you running, but you don't have my vote. And hey, I can respect that. I can agree with it too. We all have our moral principles that we have to stand by. And, either either I align with that or I don't. But,
well, I dig that though. I dig the fact you're actually out there having conversations, and I don't agree with you. Well, that's fine, but at least we had this conversation. I think right now in the arena of politics, or especially the U.S., I think conversations need to happen more than disagreements. Personally.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm all for conversations. Even the unfriendly ones, they all need to be had. But the trick is to have them in a respectful and civil way without, I've had drinks thrown on me. I've had ladies, try to slap me. I've been spit on outside of Target. And
wait a minute, this is wild campaigning. Like, this is like recently?
Yeah, I mean, like 5 weeks ago, I was walking out of Target and I had my name tag on, and they asked me, you're is that red? Are you Republican? And I said, yeah. And I was walking out of Target, and a lady she just full out spit on me, and I couldn't help but laugh. It's COVID time, and I think that's actually a felony, but I'm not that way, and some people are just very, very passionate, and
I think see, that's the thing. I agree, but I disagree with you. I think people can be passionate. That's fine, and obviously, you probably. I mean, I'm not sure if you agree with this or not, but I think you're right. I think conversations need to be having in a respectful, constructive way versus feeling that you have the right to spit on someone, yell at someone, tell someone to do something, tell someone how to act, or anything like that. All right, Williams. Thanks, William, for tuning in, brother. But no, but I think conversations, whether you disagree with it or not, should be happening probably in a more constructive manner versus feeling that you can speak to anyone however you wish, however you want, and tell them how to live their lives or what to do.
Well, I mean, that's free speech, right? Everybody has the right to open their mouth and say whatever they want. Just don't put your hands on people. Don't be spitting on people. I mean, we're adults. Certainly anybody engaging in politics should be an adult, and we can handle these situations in a grown folks fashion. And a lot of that is being lost right now, and people are claiming, it's my passion, and and I disagree with it so bad that they feel the need to physically assault or spit on somebody. And I mean, we're better than that.
I completely agree. But I think
at least I hope we are.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, I think we're living in a time right now, and this is obviously another tangent where social media kind of highlights these obscene behaviors and kind of normalizes where people think, oh, I'm justified to spit on this person who's wearing a pin outside of Target. I can do this, and I'm reaching
Right,
out. So,
right. Well, I mean, you see other prominent congressional figures, Maxine Waters calling, to go get in people's faces and run them out of restaurants. So a lot of these people on the left, they feel justified in their actions because, people that they look up to and idolize kind of justify it for them, and I think we just need a lot more civility.
I completely
Yeah.
agree, especially in this day and age. All right, so let's get into the topics. Let's get into the topics that you're focused on the 38th Congressional District. But before we do, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to when we were kids. Everyone's running. I don't even know where this is coming from. I'm just rambling. Maybe a bad question, but that's I don't care. People go for student body president when they're like in middle school and they make these promises like free pizza on Fridays and stuff like
Right.
that. You're running for office, middle school. What promises are you making to the group out there? What kid promise are you making the group out there? I remember when I was in sixth grade, it was we'd have a soda machine going on. Of course, that never happened, but still, they got my vote.
Well, I'm not offering anybody anything for free. This is a capitalist society, and we got to work for what we want. No free pizza on Fridays.
Damn it.
Right? But no, I want to get this country back on track, and I promise, that if I get elected, when I get elected, I want to try and bring this country back to our fundamentals. We're getting so far away from it, especially with all this government intervention.
Right.
I think we need less government, a lot less government, and all of these sanctions and mandates, and you can't drill here. What right does Uncle Sam have to tell any of our private companies what they can and cannot do, and especially with the energy department. I mean, that's one of the core principles in this country that we actually need.
Right.
I mean, if the oil and gas, say the oil and gas industry got mad and just said, we're tired of all these mandates and regulations and fines and fees that the government is charging them, and they just pack up and went home and quit drilling. I mean, what would happen to the United States? I mean, people need to think about this, and the government
we get pushed to the quote whole the holistic renewable side without understanding the consequences of that.
Exactly. And I mean, people want to move to renewables, and hey, I'm all for some of it. But we can't sit there and demonize the oil and gas industry when so many outside industries depend on it. I mean, you can't make shoes without oil and gas products. Hard hats. I mean, you name it. A Tesla. Like 86% of a Tesla is made with oil and gas products. I mean, people are making this big misunderstanding, about we're going to go electric and get away from the oil and gas community. Well, they need to do a little bit more research and, put a little bit more realism in their thought process and just get educated a little bit.
That would be, it's more of education than anything. I think having
Exactly.
not even misinformation, but having no information, just like you said, the Tesla 86%. I agree. I think there needs to be a blend. We're all energy, but at the same time, don't glorify one, being renewable and green. When if you look at the mines, if you look at this and that, the whatever. But anyway, so let's talk about, I guess, on your website. First off, you want to throw your website out there real quick?
Yeah, it's richardwelchforcongress.com. I have some things loaded up on there. It's it's not one of those $20,000 websites. It's all myself. Every word on there is written by me. There's not a bunch of consultants and media personalities writing all these topics for me. It's all myself, my views, and things that I want to tackle when I get to the Hill.
Well, let's talk about it. So on your website, I was looking at that yesterday, and I think a week or so ago. There's pretty much three main top. Obviously, there's a lot of things to focus on, a lot of plates to spin, I guess, whenever you're sitting in office. But there's three things that I guess that you're focused on. The first thing would be oil and gas or energy, right?
Energy independence,
Energy
absolutely.
independence. The second, and we're going to go back. We're going to backtrack and go into that.
Go
The
ahead.
second one is border security.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, go ahead, keep going.
And the third one is mental health.
Yes. Yes.
So let's start off with the oil and gas industry and on kind of energy independence. Then let's move to the what did I just say? The
border
security, and then let's move to the mental health side. So let's start off with the oil and gas. I guess the energy independence platform. Tell me why. Talk to me why you chose these three topics to focus on. Why they're important to you.
Well, so look at what's happening right now at the gas pump. Our drilling is being limited, and the Biden administration is asking other companies to ramp up their drilling to curb the price per barrel of oil.
Right.
Why can't we do that? Why can't we be a part of that? Our natural gas here in the United States is 10 times cleaner than over there in China and in Russia. So it's actually hurting the environment to get the dirty gas, and that's what they want to buy.
Yeah, but it's not in our backyard. Just like all this other narrative. It's not in our backyard, so it feels good, looks good. You know what I mean?
That's right. Well, appearances is 9/10 apparently, and so as long as they can go back to the World Energy Forum and the environmental forums and say, hey, look at what we've done. At the same time, they're preventing other countries from being able to contribute because, you have the United States, a very powerful voice as far as the world goes. You're asking all these other companies to do dirty work for us. Yeah, and we can do it. We can do it safer and cleaner and more environmentally responsible right here in the United States, rather than getting dirty crude from Russia and from China.
So I get that. So I dig that. I understand why that would be a main topic for you, and plus your history in the oil and gas industry. You understand the ins and outs because you've been there, you lived it, you walked the shoes, you walked the boots, and all that stuff. So
Absolutely, and plus it's jobs for us. Yeah. I mean, the more we can drill and keep things here at home, I mean, that's thousands of people that have employment every day just from keeping things at home. And when you're
I saw something. I'm going to butcher this because 96% of stats are made up on the spot. But I saw that one drilling rig or one frac unit supports over like 500 jobs or 700 jobs or something. It was some astronomical number that I was even surprised with. So I completely agree. This would be jobs for Americans.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have all the prep work. Then, of course, you have the drilling. And then you have all the cap work that comes afterwards, and it provides a. Yeah, I mean, there's pumping and tanker trucks that need to move it out, and I mean there's a lot more than just the 50 people on location during a frac site or a drill site. There's a lot prep work and there's a lot more that goes on downstream from that. Yeah. So yeah, it's very important and it does provide a lot of jobs.
So that's obviously job, energy independence. I'm digging that. So talking about border security and kind of why that's another focal point that you're focused on in your campaign.
Well, yeah, I mean, we all lock our doors at night, right? You lock your doors, you lock your windows, you lock your truck. Why would you not, do the same thing for your nation? I mean, you certainly, don't just leave the doors open to your house and say, oh, well, this guy's hungry. Let me bring him and feed him. Oh my gosh, now there's 30 more people that are hungry. What am I going to do about that? Well, eventually you're going to have to start kicking people out and locking your doors because you just can't do it. Right. And it's, somebody might, be bringing drugs into your house or, trying to
or, I mean, this is something that's on Red M, the sex trafficking, human trafficking.
Exactly. And that's I'm more concerned about the sex trafficking going on at the southern border than I am the drugs. Yeah. I mean, we're thousands every week or being brought in for the sex trafficking. And I think that is the number one reason that we need that wall built and to lock the border down, is to stop these young girls from being exploited and their lives ruined. And we start getting into the mental health on that. It takes people a long time to recover from something like that. Yeah, the drugs are a big problem. Every month, the amount of fentanyl that's brought in through the southern border can kill the United States and population 3 times over every month.
Dang,
just think about that. I mean, it's horrific. And why people would not want to do something about that, I will never understand. When these same people that are saying, oh, we need more people, we need to let them in, their lives are horrible, are the same people with 10-foot privacy fences around their homes, and they got national guardsmen standing outside their door. It's hypocrisy at its best.
Yeah, that's the mountaintop mentality, and that's something that I think Stephen Forrester claimed: "Do as I say, not as I do."
Exactly.
I think there's a lot of people that have that mentality. So let's get into the mental. Why is mental health so important to you? And I guess that's a topic that you're focused on, because I think that's such a important topic that that people talk about bringing attention to, but rarely is it done. And so, can you kind of get into that a little bit?
Well, right. I mean, mental health is the probably the most important thing for a person to have a grip on in order to function in life.
Right.
If you're going through a serious bout of depression, it affects every other aspect of your life, work included. So a lot of these people, that are out there on the streets, they're what is 35? I think the average cost for mental health from the state is like $35 a day. What is that going to do? What kind of care are you going to get for $35 a day?
When actually it's kind of scary and sad to hear, because you always you hear about these these events, whether it happens to a family, whether it happens to community, and all that stuff. I mean, mental health wellness was identified, but nothing was chosen to do about it or to help out at all. So I mean, I completely understand that $35 a day. I mean, that's not, to me. I don't know, but I would assume that's probably not nearly enough to, I guess, tackle some of the main issues. Because you're right, whether it's as small as depression, that's a serious issue in a lot of people's lives.
It really is. I drive down Gessner every day, almost every day. And I see the same guy out there in the middle of the street, and he's just walking around, barefoot. I saw him 2 days ago, and the poor guy sitting there, banging a shoe on his head. And why is nobody helping this man? Yeah. Why is this man living out there the way that he is? Why can't we put some serious effort into getting this man some help, getting him on the right medication, and then hopefully we can find this man a job, so he can feel good about himself, contribute to society. And this is something that a lot of people, they're out there talking about it. They're showing pictures of it on TV, but nobody seems to want to do anything about it. And I want to tackle that.
Okay. So what else? So that's kind of what else do you want to, I guess, discuss right now? And I'm not sure, whoever's listening right now, we're going to be opening this up to some questions and all that stuff. But honestly, if obviously this is kind of a last minute rush and all that stuff, there's no questions from the audience, Richard. Maybe you can answer some questions that, I guess, some reoccurring questions, I guess, that you're hearing about during the campaign trail that you're experiencing.
Sure, I'll take some questions.
So if anyone's listening right now, if anyone has any questions for Richard on whether it's, any of his platforms or any of his topics he's focused on, or what it's like campaigning. Actually, Richard, why don't you let people know, I guess, how to get in touch with you? First off, identify your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, so my LinkedIn profile is Richard Welch for Congress. You can find me on there. You can follow me. I'm putting things out there as they come along. I have a Facebook page, Richard Welch for Congress. You can go like it and share it. That would help out a lot. You can also contact me through my website, richardwelchforcongress.com. You can send me an email through there. I'm going to be the only one that replies to you. I can promise you that much. Nobody else has.
What's your email? I'm going to put it up that in the comments.
It's campaign@richardwelchforcongress.com.
Richard. It's probably easier because I'm on the spot right now. It's probably easier for me to just copy and paste it.
Yeah.
So while we're waiting for questions and all that stuff, let me just take this down.
I got one more thing I want to hit on.
Yeah, get on it.
Education. I would like to bring education back to the states. That way we have a vote and we have a say on what our kids are learning in school.
Okay, so tell me about what's currently happening now that you're seeing, and also what you want to do to, I guess, attack it.
So the way that it's set up right now, coming from the Department of Education, we the people, we don't have a say in what goes on at the school, what our kids are being taught, things that are in the library. It's all coming from the Department of Education. And so, somebody 2,000 miles away is trying to tell you what's best to educate your kid. I want to bring it back to the state level. I want to put it back into the governor's hands. That way, if the ISDs aren't functioning to the parents' liking, and if we feel like our kids aren't being educated properly and on the proper subjects, that we have a voice and we can have the next election and make a change and start that way. We can have some people actually be held accountable for what's being pushed in these school districts.
How is changing something like that? It seems like such just a challenging feat, a challenging task to, I guess, to change something like that, especially something like education, which seems like it's just so many different, I guess, it just seems like a ball of frustrating, different ingredients, if we want to call it, different polls, different motives, and also how do you guys, I guess, step into that arena to, I guess, tackle something like that?
Well, I mean, you just quit funding it. I mean, you have to abolish it. I mean, our kids in school today are not taught how to properly balance a checkbook or do their finances, but they're being taught about, there's this new thing, it's social emotional learning, how to be nice to people, or if to the tone of somebody's skin, instead of they're not being taught core principles to function as an adult, like balance a checkbook, or how to plan for the future. So there's a lot of things that are going on, and there's no way to change it because it's coming down from the federal government level by a bunch of these empathetic
career politicians
that have all these personal agendas, and it's all driven by lobbyists and protesters and things of the sort. So I'd like to bring it back down to where it's supposed to be on the state's level. The government, it's not in the Constitution about educating the kids. It's supposed to be with the states, and that's where I'd like to bring it back to.
All right, I dig that. So look, if there's no questions on this stuff, why don't you give me I guess a couple key themed questions I guess you're hearing about, and I guess some main topics or conversations that you're hearing about, I guess, during your conversations with people during your campaign.
So a lot of people and that's why I threw the education thing out there. That is one of the main questions that you get asked. What are you going to do about the education system, and how are you going to fix it? And so that's my plan. I want to bring it back to the state level. That way, we the people have a voice, and I see that happening a whole lot more. The people and especially myself, and this is one of the reasons that I wanted to jump in and win this, is the feeling of disenfranchisement on a personal level. And, you know, when your voice isn't being heard and you're electing people that tell you one thing and get up there in the Oval Office, and then, you know, they start doing their own thing. Well, that's not representing the people. And you know, just so many people get in there and do that. And you hear the term all the time, rhinos, you know,
Yes.
rhinos and dinos, you know, it's people on the campaign trail. They tell you, you know, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to fight for this, I'm going to fight for that. And the next minute, you know, they're voting yes on
Something
bills.
they said they would vote no on.
Well, yeah, you know, people get in there and they say, you know, I'm for the Constitution, and, you know, I'm not going to vote for anything that's unconstitutional, and, you know, they're voting for red flag laws and to have your, you know, medical rights and information shared with the federal government and put in databases and everything else. And the people are like, hey, you told me you wasn't going to do this, you know, well, where's, you know, my voice doesn't count anymore, you know, this isn't cool. And so we need people that are going to get in there and stick to their core principles, do what they actually promise the people that they're going to do, and be a voice for the people that put them in office.
Yep. I dig it. So you excited about, so the grind's getting more real? You got any plans for the holidays to decompress, relax, or is it no, or just like the old food, there's no holidays on the campaign trail? Well, what's your holidays?
Well, you know, I'm gonna have to pull the plug on campaign, and probably on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I think the home life would suffer, you know, with a potentially angry spouse, you know.
I dig it.
Kids too, you know. So
what you got going on? Are you gonna do a family meal at the house? Are you gonna go out? What's y'all's tradition? What's the Welch's Christmas time tradition that you're looking forward to this year?
we always meet at Mama's house, you know. That's where the party's at.
Okay.
So I'm this year. I think I'm gonna smoke a big old prime rib and do something a little bit different for Christmas, and you know, get together with the family, have a good time, a lot of laughs, and we do the white elephant thing.
Okay, I dig that. All right. Well, Richard, unless there's anything else that you got for us and all that stuff, I appreciate you taking the time this morning coming on. I know it was last minute, but it's I'm glad we got this done before the new year.
Absolutely. We've been planning it for a couple weeks, and
dude, it's been crazy. It's been crazy on your end. It's been crazy on my end, man. It's been pretty hectic.
Absolutely. But
I'm glad
we finally got to link up, and I'm glad we got to do this. I had a great time.
Absolutely. And again, everyone, this is Richard Welch for Congress, the Congressional District 38. So does that mean you'd have an office here and in DC, or what does that look like?
I'll have two offices, I believe, here in the district, and my main office will be in DC. But
that's
I'll always be back here every month.
I dig that. All right. Well, so everyone, this is Richard's website. Check it out, and get in contact with him. You can also find him on LinkedIn, Richard Welch for Congress. And then here's his email. If you have any questions, or just kind of run something by him, or want to grab a cup of coffee and kind of talk about anything you want to talk about. And if not, you'll probably be seeing him at a lot of industry events. So if you see him, go up to him, say hello, and just kind of introduce yourself. So, Richard, I want to thank you for coming on, brother. And wish you luck, wish you a Merry Christmas, wish you a happy holidays, good and safe time, and enjoy some family time. All right, brother? Absolutely.
Merry Christmas to you too, brother.
All right, man. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. All right.
Yes, sir.